Okay, my friends, here we go again. So this is part 3 of my video series on Pythagorean theorem. And part 1, I showed you what to do when the hypotenuse was missing. Part 2, I showed you what to do when leg A is missing. And now for part 3, I'm going to show you what to do when the leg B is missing. Okay? So, remember, these are not your homework problems, but your homework problems consist of the same type of worksheets with the same type of problems. So therefore, you can do your own homework and yet still have a resource to figure out what to do. So no one should come in tomorrow morning or Thursday, whenever I see you next, and say they did not understand. However, if you really don't understand what to do after this, you need to make sure you come see me either during lunch, during advice, or set up a time with me before school or after school. Here we go. Okay, so first let's go ahead and label our parts. When we label our parts, we know that straight diagonally across from the right angle is C, which is the hypotenuse, right? The bottom line will be A, and the height line will be, B, and then the height line will be A. Now, let's go ahead and write our formula. The formula always remains the same. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. All right, so now let's plug in what numbers we have. Do we have an A? Yes, we do. A equals 5. So let's plug that in. 5 squared plus B squared. Do I have a B? I know I don't. B squared, so you bring that back down the way you see it. C squared. Do I have a C? Yes, I do, which is 13. So C squared, okay? So now what I do is solve for the ones that I already have. And so that means I'm going to do 5 squared. This is not 5 times 2. This is 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25 plus B squared, because I don't know what B is yet. Just bring it right back down. And then you have 13 times 13. Remember, that's not 13 times 2. It is 13 times 13. And that's going to give us 169. Okay? Now, just like we did for when leg A was missing, we do the same thing. We get B by itself by taking out the other number, by doing the opposite of what we see. If that's a positive 25, so we'll subtract 25 from this side. Okay? So what happens is this cancels out, leaving me just B squared. And then I do the math over here. 169 minus 25 is 144. So I have 144. But don't forget that last step. You have to find the square root of 144 in order to realize what B really is. And so the square root of 144 is going to be 12. So B equals 12. So A is 5, C is 13, B is actually 12. How do I know for sure? Easy. Take that 12 and plug it back in. Here. And do this the square of it. 12 times 12? Well, guess what, my friends? 12 times 12 is 144. So there, that's a good way of how you can check your answer to see that if it's correct. Let's do another example in which leg B is missing. I think I might have one on this sheet. Maybe not. Oh, here you go. This one has B missing. Okay? So, let's first label my sides. As you know, this is going to be the hypotenuse, which is C. B is the bottom. A is the height. So now I write my formula. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Now let's plug in the numbers that I have. Do I have an A? Why, yes I do. A is 14. So 14 squared plus, do I have a B? Nope. So just bring it right down. B squared equals C squared. Do I have a C? Yes I do. 50. So 50 squared. Okay? Now let's solve the math here. 14 times 14. Remember, that's not 14 times 2. 14 times 14 is going to give you 196. Bring down your B squared, because you can't do anything with it just yet. And bring your 502. Okay? So what we have here, oops, 55, 25. C squared is 502. That's 50 squared. 50 times 50 is 22,500. So this is what you should have for this one. So now what do I do? Now what I do is get B by itself. In order to get B by itself, I gotta move this. That's a positive 196, so I do the opposite of what I see. Minus 196 to both sides of the street. Okay? This is a good thing while we already did equations, my friends. As you can see, it came right back around to you, didn't it? So, b squared equals, remember, because I canceled out, 2,500 minus 196. My answer is going to be 2,304. But remember, you got to find the square root of that. You got to find the square root of everything. That's the last thing that you do. So, if I find the square root of 2,304, square root of 2,304, my answer will be 48. So B's final answer is 48. So this is 48. Okay? Now, I don't know if you're noticing a bit of a pattern here, but the B line will always be just a little bit less than the hypotenuse. Take a look at where B is already here. The B line is always just a little bit less than the hypotenuse, isn't it? Patterns, my friends. Numbers are nothing but patterns and logic. Okay? All right. So let's take a look at another one in which the B is missing. That was one problem where the B was missing. Let's see if I got another one around here somewhere. And did I do this one? Yeah, I do not know. I think I did. Okay, 6 minutes past? Yeah, I did that one already. So let me see if I can find a different sheet so I can do at least one more with B missing. Well, look at that. Can't get more convenient than that, can we? All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this one. B is missing. Okay, so remember, first thing that we're going to do is label your sides. Hypotenuse, always going to be the longest side. That's diagonal from the 90-degree angle. B, A. Write the formula. Do I have to show all my work this hard? Yes, you do. Stop asking. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. There you go. Do I have an A? Yes, I do. So A is going to be 33. So 33 squared plus B squared. Do I have a B? Nope. So just bring that B squared right down. Do I have a C? Yes, I do. 65. So 65 squared. All right. Let's first do this. 33 times 33. Again, this is not 33 times 2. 33 times 33. This is 33 squared, which is going to give us 1089, plus my B squared. Can't do anything with it right now, so just bring it down. And then now I have my 65 squared, which is 65 times 65, not 65 times 2. That will give me 4,225. So what I have to do now is get B by itself by getting rid of this. How do I get rid of it? Do the opposite of what I see. This is a positive 1,089, so subtract 1,089. Got to do that on this side of the street too. Subtract 1,089. What happens is this cancels out. I have a B squared equals, do the subtraction here, 1,089. You have 3,136. But remember, you must square root the answer. Find the square root of that. So 3,136. Oops. Square root of 3,136. Answer is going to be 56. B is 56. Okay? Now, whoops, I'm at the wrong question. My bad. B is 56. How do I know? Easy. Put 56 in a B and square it. 56 times 56. Oh my gosh, 3,136. If you did that with me in a calculator, so you know that this is correct. B is 56. One more. I think I have time on this video for one more. Do I? Why, yes I do. Okay, keep it on moving. So one last one in which your base is missing. Okay, so here's B. All right, you know that this is C by now, and this is A. So my A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Do I have an A? Yes, I do. A is 24, so 24 squared plus, don't have a B, so just bring it right down, equals 40 squared. So I do 24 times 24. Remember, that is not 24 times 2. That's 576 plus 6. B squared, 40 times 40. 40 times 40 is 1,600. Remember, you got to get b by itself by doing the opposite of what you see. So 516 minus 516 from this side. That cancels out, leaving you b squared. And then you do the series subtraction. You get 1084. Don't forget, you got to have the square root of it. Square root it. Okay, square root of 1084 is going to give me 32.92, assuming I did that correct. 32.92, 0.9, or you can even say 33 at this point. Okay, let's see if that one is correct, because I think I might have made a mistake here because I can't read my writing. $32. So I got my 9 off a little bit. Let's see where my 9 went off a little bit. I got my 1600. I'm looking at the answer about 576. That's where it was. Okay. So the reason why mine was off a little bit here, and if you haven't figured it out by now, that this was not 516. It was 576. So that will give us 1600 minus 576, 1024. I'm sure by now you already figured out that I made a mistake. 1024. So the square root of 1024. 1024. That is where our 32 came from. 32. So b is equal to 32. How do I know? And I can double check. 32 squared, 32 times 32 should be 1024. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to end this video with examples of C, how to solve for the leg B, and then my last video will be examples of what to do when your right angle is not visible. Okay? A couple of you have already seen me about, I don't know what numbers these are, where the letters are, so I'll help you determine that on the last video. All right, see you on the last one.